Hey guys, just got a couple messages here. Best rep range for a set, 10-10, 430, 2010. So real quick, the 430, 2010, most people seem to be getting this from Doug Brignoli. He said that as an offhand remark during an interview, and it's just something he was trying out. It's not something he practically does, generally speaking. Rep ranges, it's one of those funny things, but again, it's almost, you just want to stay between 8 and 30. And for a set, just do your best to stay in between those ranges. The first set that you do will always have the largest number of repetitions, and provided you don't go over 30 and you stop before failure, you did good. And then your next 2, 3, or possibly 4 sets, although I wouldn't do more than 4 if you're natural, you'll then be, decreasing because of the glucose in the muscle leaving and the muscle fibers failing and, fatigue, all these things. And, thank you very much for the compliment about my flashcards. I have a whole bunch more of those flashcards coming out, by the way. They do take me quite a bit of time to do. I'm trying to do 1 set or 2 sets a month. I have the flashcards for at-home use for so many people who use my at-home training system. I'll have more videos up about that soon, by the way. I'm putting one up today about the middle attachment. For those of you who don't know, the at-home training system is how to do the perfect exercises at home with just these flashcards. The flashcards cover a large variety of ways to do all of the perfect movements just using your doorway gym, 2 chin-up bars, 2 cables, 2 handles, and 2 forms of weight, buckets full of sand or water, or a weight pin with weights or dumbbells or any of those things. And provided that you have these, you can get a perfect workout, better than you will ever get with any personal trainer unless they understand science, better than you'll get trying to do your own damn thing at the gym, better than you'll get using the machines at the gym. I developed this system a while ago when COVID came out, 2 years ago, when COVID first kicked off and a lot of my clients had to go indoors, couldn't really train at the gym anymore. A lot of them didn't have home gyms, so I was scratching my head trying to figure out a way to get everything done perfectly in the home. Went through a lot of different systems. This is by far the cheapest, most efficient I've ever found. I use it everywhere all the time. It's wonderful. I use it myself. Even if you're just an introvert or you hate gyms like I do, it's a great system. If you guys don't know about the flashcards, just check out my Etsy store. They're in my descriptions of any of my videos and stuff. They're very cheap. And they're worth the money. And I'll have new ones coming out for parks and body weight exercises and all these things for you guys as well. As well as I'll be starting flashcards how to build your own home workout equipment and stuff like that as well. So very simple to follow stuff. Think children's book for athletes. All right, what is the best way to do the neck press? I know what you're talking about, but I would never, ever recommend anyone do the guillotine press. I would never recommend anyone do the neck press. To keep it very simple, I don't want to make it too complicated, but if you're doing the shoulder press of any form, it doesn't matter if it's in front or if it's behind, you're damaging your shoulders. End of story. You're damaging your shoulders. Now, the reason people do these exercises, the overhead pressing, the guillotine, etc., is they want to get the big shoulders. You have to understand, try to keep it real simple, muscles don't have brains. They don't care what you want to do. They don't particularly give a shit. They don't know how much weight is on the bar, and they don't know what exercise that you're doing. They know they have a job to do. That job is to cross 2 bones and a joint and bring those 2 levers together. Now, if you're doing the guillotine press, you're doing it for your shoulders. That's what you're doing it for. Your shoulders, or deltoids, have 3 heads, the front, the lateral, and the rear, okay? Those 3 heads each have a significant, hundreds of better exercises that do not hurt your shoulder, that maximally and efficiently load your shoulder without damaging it in any way. So, again, this is a lengthy explanation, but very simple. We have evolved over time. I mean, whether you're religious or not, there is no denying evolution. It is there, it's proven. So, moving forward with evolution, you have to understand, we evolved from 4, give me 1 sec, guys. Sorry about that. So we evolved from 4-legged creatures, and we've slowly stood up over time. Now, the argument people always say is, well, we've always had to push things over our head. No, we've never had to push things overhead. Humans got very developed, very strong, very able to throw things, to hunt together in groups of other humans and individuals, all these things. We never had to push anything over our head. And just like the inclined bench press does not actually train your pectoral fibers, the overhead guillotine press or shoulder press of any form is not an effective way to train your shoulders. Now, when I'm saying effective, I mean you're going to be using a lot more weight than is necessary to load the muscle with substantially less weight. You will be damaging the shoulder cradle. You'll be damaging the tendon. There's no benefit at all to doing this exercise besides perhaps you like it. You have to understand muscles, again, they just don't care. A more effective way to load these muscles would be a lying lateral raise or a standing cable lateral raise for your lateral deltoid. That will maximize the use of your lever. You won't even need much weight, 10 pounds, 15 pounds. Okay? You'll be doing it in a natural way that will not be damaging your bones, your cartilage, your tendons, anything. You'll be getting a better, more efficient exercise, range of motion, and resistance curve for your lateral deltoid. For your front deltoid, do a front press. Use cables, use a dumbbell, check out my videos, anything. This is a far safer, more effective, again, everything all around better way to train your front deltoids. You'll get better results. And again, no damage. Rear deltoids. You do the rear deltoid pull, you do it with a dumbbell lying on the ground. There's a million ways to do it. Again, these are natural ways. They will not damage your shoulder. They won't hurt in the slightest. There's no reason and there's no benefit at all to doing any form of overhead press, specifically with a barbell. If you guys haven't already seen it, I just put up a video. For those of you who don't know, I'm starting a new series, Arguments for Intelligent Exercise. And the reason for this series is because I've had a challenge for over 3 years on my Instagram, my Facebook, and my YouTube. All you haters in the comments and you moronic personal trainers and you disgustingly ignorant coaches and YouTube gurus who know nothing of exercise continuously hate on me and send me hate emails but refuse to debate me. So for 3 years they have refused to debate me. I've had dozens of people ask to debate me, and when I try to schedule a lockdown debate with them, they go silent or they disappear. So these are the arguments I would be using in my debates that I've created, and the video I just put up is why barbells are for people who just truly don't want to make efficient progress, they don't understand science, or they have a gigantic ego and they just like barbells. So the next one I'll be doing is a video about momentum and why you don't want to use momentum. But again, these are just arguments I would use in my debates if anyone would ever actually agree to debate me about exercise. If you know anybody, please encourage them. I would thoroughly love to debate somebody who thinks squats are better, or deadlifts are better, or bench press is better, or incline press trains your chest. I would love to debate these people so I could prove them wrong. It'd be quite fun, actually. We got a Mike here. Hey, Mike fam. What kind of chest exercise is best for upper pecs? Is incline dumbbell bench press? Okay, so very simple. No, do not do incline bench press. Do not do incline dumbbell press. Do not do any form of incline movement for your upper pecs. Now, I'm going to do the best I can to keep this very simple, although I would urge you to check out my many videos about why the incline bench press does not train your chest. I have many lectures on this demonstrating with anatomy and stuff, but since we're not doing that here, let me just keep it real simple for you. If you could, wherever you are right now, Mike, you're at your computer, I suppose, I'd like you to go ahead and flex your chest. Now, you know what I'm talking about. You see how bodybuilders flex their chest. You see people, they flex their chest. The Rock, he does the titty bounce, all these things. In order to do that, you have to take your arms, your upper arms, and you have to pull them to the center of your body. Now, by doing this, you contract, you flex your chest. You can see, just like a big bicep. Here's the thing. When you're doing a flat bench, let's say barbell, dumbbell, whatever, cables, your arms are in this position. Once again, go ahead, try to flex your chest. You're going to bring your arms together? Sure, you can flex your chest, okay? You'll get activation. Now I'd like you to go ahead and do it at an incline movement. Let's just say you're leaning back and you're here. This is the angle you're using. You got your arms up here. You're going to be doing it like this, okay? Go ahead. I want you to try to flex your chest with your arms in this position. If you can't see, I don't have the biggest chest, but there's no contraction whatsoever occurring in my chest at this angle, or this one, till I get to about here. Here you can see the contraction, and about a decline angle you can see the contraction. Okay? Now the reason for this, clipboard here. The reason for this is simple. If you look at an anatomy chart, you can see the orientation of the fibers. Some go this way, some go across, and it looks like some go up, so they connect like a fan. Now that's good, that's awesome, that's an anatomy chart. Here's the problem. In real life, when you pick your arms up like this, you can see the line, okay? That's my pectorals. Now where is that line going? It's going down. Now this is where my pecs connect, right here on my arm. Come down, connects like this. Notice where my finger's going though. Now the orientation is entirely a decline angle. This is because when I raise my upper arm to put it in a position of benching, of lifting, of chest exercise, the issue is the fibers change direction. So in this position where I would be doing my chest exercise, the fibers are now all orientated down. When you're doing an incline movement, you're using your front deltoids and you're using like 2% clavicular fibers. That's it. You're not using your pectorals at all. And this is why whenever people do the incline press and they're trying to do incline angles, or how steep of an angle, etc., they usually pick the lowest angle and then they also arch their back. So if you're sitting like this and you arch your back, well now it's a flat bench press. You change the line of resistance. It's no longer inclined, now it's flat. So these are all really simple things to understand, but really what I'm trying to tell you to answer your question is you want to do a decline angle. I have only done declined cable press or declined dumbbell press for the last 6 years, and my chest just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. One of the beautiful things about biomechanics, and somebody like me who's been teaching biomechanics for going on 7 years now, is when I started, I was a power lifter, I was a strongman, I was also about 145, 155 pounds. Since then, it's been 7 years. As of today, I'm now 210, 215 pounds, depending on the day and carbs and stuff. Just keep going up in weight. I've maintained a six-pack the whole time. It's not like I'm roided up or geared up to the gills or anything like that. I occasionally do a cycle, occasionally, and that's it. I'm not the old competitive bodybuilder or anything else. With that being said, I've still been able to put on roughly 40 to 50 pounds of muscle in 6 or 7 years without touching a barbell, without squatting, without deadlifting, without bench pressing, without incline pressing, without shoulder pressing. I just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's because your muscles don't care. They don't have brains. They only know how much that they're being loaded, and your body responds to physics just like everything else in the world. Your body's made up of levers. If you haven't seen enough of biomechanic videos or anything else, check out my videos. I have over 500 lectures. Doug Brignoli. There's a lot of people who talk about biomechanics nowadays. Thank God it's going mainstream. And there will always be people who are ignorant. There are always going to be people who don't understand, who like their exercise and will continue to use bro science because they're too lazy to understand why it's ineffective, and they'll just keep doing it. I cannot help these people. I'm interested in helping people who want to get better. I'm interested in helping people who want effective results, and I'm interested in intelligent people. Most of you know the majority of the population is a bunch of dummies. You don't want to be part of that. Trade News Center, how are you? Are dips the best exercise for lower pecs? Aren't they dangerous for the shoulders? Okay, so dips are, again, a terrible exercise. I would never recommend dips be done for anything. Dips are actually a front deltoid exercise. They have very little to do with your pectorals, and they have nothing whatsoever to do with your triceps. Simple way to explain this, and I'll get back to your exercise for lower pecs, although simple answer is decline chest. Again, I do one exercise for chest. All of my clients do one single exercise for chest, and that is a 95-degree cable decline press, unless they want to use dumbbells. But I don't encourage dumbbells because the angle is really weird. You're upside down. It's not comfortable. So again, guys, chest. You want chest growth? Your frequency is simple. You train your chest with decline chest every 3 to 4 days. You do it for 3 to 6 sets, depending if you're natural or enhanced. If you're enhanced, go up to 6 sets. Enhanced means steroids. If you're not enhanced, do not do more than 4 sets. If you do this for the rest of your life, you will experience the greatest chest growth possible. End of story. Genetics come into play here, guys. What you're eating comes into play, your genetic potential, all of these things. If you don't naturally have big chesticles, that could just be your lot, but you don't know until you do the perfect exercise for a lengthy amount of time. Now, just to go back for the dips real quick, when you're doing your dips, you got to understand, well, number one, don't do them. But if you do them and you think that they're for your chest or your triceps, you're wrong. So a little experiment you yourself can do, put some oil on your hands, butter, pan spray, I don't care, oil, and then put your hands on that dip bar and do a dip. The first thing that you'll notice is that you don't slip off the bar, your hand doesn't kick back. Now the job of the tricep is to extend the forearm. Therefore, if the forearm is being extended, it's the tricep doing it. That would mean that the forearm is moving or something like that, okay? Or the upper arm is being moved by the tricep as well. This does not happen. Your hand does not slide back even with oil on your hand. This is because all of the pressure is being directed to your upper arm through your front delts. Your pecs only assist a little bit, and that would depend on the angle of your body. So it's not a good exercise for your pecs. It's not a good exercise for your triceps, considering they don't participate at all. And as far as your front deltoids, again, it's not good because of passive and active insufficiency. You're overstretching the muscle and putting it through a bad range of motion. Plus, most people's body weight is too much for them to handle anyways. So I hope that answers that. As for where do I set the bench when doing a decline cable press? Okay, so simple answer, guys, it doesn't matter. So what you're looking for is optimum angle of resistance. So optimum angle of resistance is just going to be you want to keep the cable parallel with your forearm the whole time, and you just want to have your arm cut your chest in half. So provided your arms are at this angle and the cable is parallel with your forearm for the entire movement, you're good. So what does this mean? It means if I'm sitting at a bench like this and I have the cables set up such that my arms are able to be here, and I can then pull them to the center of my body and maintain a straight line, that's gravity by the way, line of resistance, it's good. It also means that if I want to perform decline on a lying down flat bench, I can do that as long as the cables are set up down here on the floor in such a way that I maintain the same angle through my body. I can do it upside down if I feel like it, if I duct tape myself to the ceiling and I have the cables originating properly. It's a matter of comfort. It's a matter of stability, what you personally like. You can do decline chest standing, but then you'll have to brace correctly and worry about momentum, which is why I use a bench. It eliminates those factors. One more thing I might want to add for chest is you want your hands facing like this when you're doing the cables, not like this. I see a lot of people try to do this. That's not optimal placement. This is optimal placement, but just so we all know. Hey Philip, how are you? Diane wants to know why you train me to run laterally. I could not really explain it. Okay. Long story short, you're practicing lateral movements. Philip's one of my clients, everybody there. You're practicing lateral walking, lateral jogging, and lateral movements. And that's because when you're running, one of the main things that's going to give out first is your ability to laterally generate force, and that's also your stability factor as well. Now, in your particular case, Philip, you have really tight hamstrings and a couple other factors. I really don't want to get into it on here, but if any of you guys are concerned with improving your running or your jogging or anything else, you're going to want to do 4 directional movements. You're going to want to run forward, jog forward, do forward movements, lateral movements or side-to-side movements, and also backward movements. Now this is training your body, specifically your hips. If you want to think about your hips like a triangle that's got 2 golf balls and then 2 golf tees attached to them, the golf tees will be your legs. You want to make sure that you have full rotational ability as well as full strength and full stability in all of these muscles to generate the most force and stability. So just like when it comes to bracing for exercise, the better you're able to brace and hold your core stable, the better able you're to perform and generate force. It's the same thing when you're jogging or you're running. If you're lateral and it doesn't matter. If your ability to move in all directions is compromised, so is your stability, so is your ability to generate force, so is your ability for proper foot placement, many other things. So I hope that answers it kind of simply for you, Philip. Let's see here. Rigged Solu, I love doing the cable front delt press. I'm a big fan as well. Just make sure it sits palm up. And again, just make sure that you got the cable nice and parallel with your forearm, like kind of touching your forearm the whole time. Is it good to do flies in a decline bench? They seem to hit the chest harder. All right, real quick with that. No. The only reason you might say that they hit the chest harder is you're just feeling a different kind of contraction, if you will. So a simple way to explain this is I'll have people tell me all the time, oh, but I feel it more. Or when I'm doing knee raises or leg raises, I feel my abs working. Well, that's nice, but it doesn't mean shit about how you're actually training the muscles. So for example, I can take my hands, put them here, and I can squeeze as hard as I can for a minute. I will get an amazing chest pump. My chest is going to be very sore the next day. Did I do anything to grow my muscles? Did I do anything to get stronger? No, nothing occurred. Did I feel it in my chest? Yeah. This is the same kind of shit people say about training your inner chest or your outer chest or you're the outer head of your bicep or whatever. This is nonsense. It's not real. It's not how it actually works. Muscles, again, they don't have brains and they can't prioritize certain kinds of fibers over other kinds of fibers. They either all contract or none of them do. I hope that helps out a little bit. But again, with the decline bench and the flies, you're still targeting the pectorals in a decline movement. You're having longer levers because your levers are literally longer. Instead of having half a lever, you have a whole lever. You're still doing a decline movement. Maybe you're able to focus on it better, perhaps, but overall it makes no difference. You're still going to want to have a correct resistance curve. The best way to do that would be cables, as you're able to sit upright, be stable, etc., and have full range of resistance curve, meaning you can bring your hands together, and all the way back and all the way together, something you cannot do, for example, with barbells. Oh, okay, yep. So what I said a minute ago about holding the handles when doing the cable decline press, sure. Simple explanation would be where your actual pectorals connect on your arm. So again, this is important. If my pectorals, they connect right here on my arm, you can kind of see the line. I hope it can't see the lighting, but I hope you can see the line. They connect right about here on my upper arm, my humerus, okay? When I say connect, there's some tendons that literally just kind of adhere them to the bone. Think like super glue. Now, because this is now a straight line, I know I'm going to want to move my arm in this line. I hope that makes sense. Now, moving forward about the hand placement, generally speaking, hand placement makes zero difference, again, because muscles don't have brains. In this case, for two reasons, it has an impact. So, again, back to here, and we're pushing down. Reason number one, the way the bone is actually located in the shoulder girdle. So, you guys can see what the shoulder looks like here. You're just going to be putting the arm in a rotated location where it's going to grind a little bit. That's all. Reason number one. Reason number two is by rotating your hands from here to here, you're able to maintain the line of force easily because of the position of the hand in relation to the bone. So this acts like a door hinge. It only has the ability to move this direction. And if you're moving your hands together like this and you want the door hinge essentially to straighten, the easiest way to do that is to make sure that your forearm is flat and the upper bone is flat in the hinge type pattern. When your hand is rotated like this, it's not the case. It's actually a little bit harder to do. It feels weird. It twists it up here. Just again, to keep it simple, just have your hands facing in, and when you push down, just make sure they end up looking like this. And I mean like this again up here though, if that makes sense. Not this, you want this. Hope that helps. Okay, why alternating bicep curls? I don't like my arm to rest in a set. Actually, that's not true. I recommend alternating just about everything and training everything in a unilateral fashion, except shrugs and declined chest and the scapular retraction. So very simple. This goes back to a video I just made actually about unilateral training versus bilateral training. Excuse me. When you're doing an alternating movement, number one, you're giving your muscle a brief window to rest and recover, removing some of the toxins and lactic acid inside of it, meaning you'll be generating more reps. It's a big confusion people have. They seem to think that if you train faster or something, you get more benefit from it. This is not the case. You want to be alternating. Again, I alternate my triceps, I alternate my biceps, I alternate my front deltoids, I alternate my rear deltoids, I alternate my lateral raises. It's better. This is independent limb movement versus two limbs moving together at the same time. There's no neurological interference, meaning you're able to generate more force. Again, more reps total before failure, meaning you get more volume done in your workout. So I hope that clears it up kind of simple. I mean, if you want, you could do the right arm and then the left arm, two completely separate sets. That's fine. It would just take a little bit longer. I mean, for efficiency's sake, I just don't do that. When I say a little bit longer, we're talking minutes. So it's entirely up to you. You can totally do that, no worries. Okay, opinion on transverse abdominis training with planks or vacuums. I know that these are obviously bad for the rectus abdominis. I wish you'd clarify why you think that's bad for the rectus abdominis. But all right, so number one, planks are stupid. End of story. There's no functional use to doing a plank. I have no idea why somebody would do a plank. Doesn't make sense. There's better ways to train your abs for every single every single muscle, every single sport. I don't know. Again, I don't know why somebody would do a plank. As for vacuums, I do vacuums every single day in the morning, and I have done for at least 10 years now. If I'm getting ready for a photo shoot or something like that, I'll up it to 2 or 3 times a day. Vacuums are a wonderful way to train your transverse abdominis. However, I use them for 3 reasons. I use them for training my transverse abdominis. I use them for training my diaphragm, and I also use them as a kind of a way to keep my waist tight, if you will. And that's obviously not 100% true, but it's an easy way to keep it. So, long story short, vacuums, I recommend you do them every day. First thing in the morning on an empty stomach, 3 to 5 sets, anywhere from 10 seconds to 15 seconds each. They are a wonderful way to train. Once you're able to and you've strengthened them enough, you can then go from doing just the regular vacuums to doing vacuums with movement. So when you do just a vacuum, it's an isometric contraction, but when you do a vacuum with movement in your abs as well, you're actually doing more effective training, as well as drastically strengthening your diaphragm as well. So I hope that helps. They're not bad for your abs. I don't know. I'm curious why you said that. I deal with that sometimes because I tell all my clients to breathe with their belly. And of course, breathing with your belly, you're not actually breathing with your belly. What you're doing is you're just expanding your lungs and you're dropping your diaphragm, allowing you to access the bottom portion of your lungs. It maintains a lower state of anxiety, calms you through your vagus nerve. It's a healthier way to breathe. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to do it, but for any of you listening who haven't already heard me say this, you always want to breathe nose, dropping the diaphragm, so expanding your belly should look like a pregnant lady. And the only way to actually do that is you have to relax your abdominals. Now, by relaxing your abdominals and breathing that way, you actually end up getting more defined abs because of the way that you're stretching them. A vacuum. Sorry, let me see if I can show you real quick. I just had breakfast, but this is a vacuum. All right, so even with a full gut, I could still do it. So all a vacuum is that you'll be taking your abdominals and pulling them up inside of your cavity, essentially by raising your diaphragm using your transverse abdominis to be accomplishing this. It is a wonderful way to keep your waist tight. Obviously, I mean, not to be rude, but if you're fat, there's not much of a point in doing it. I hope that helps answer what a vacuum is, but I do recommend everyone do them. I mean, at least for their respiratory health, if nothing else. I had a friend tell me guys shouldn't train glutes because they will develop a feminine physique. It might be the most bizarre thing I've ever heard. I've never heard of such a thing. You generate your power through your legs. I think most people know that by now. But yeah, you have to train your glutes. Yeah, absolutely. Train your glutes. Anybody who told you that, that's absolutely insane. Don't listen to that person. Let's see. What else you guys say here? Due to their static nature and not including spinal flexion. Oh, I see. But again, when you get advanced, the vacuums won't necessarily be static. You'll be able to move them. And again, the spinal flexion, again, you're not doing vacuums for ab training. You're doing vacuums to be developing other muscles, including, well, I know most bodybuilders don't have any idea that they're doing them for respiratory health, but they're amazing for respiratory health. Is there a way to strengthen the vacuum, like tightening a belt and walking around? That's the opposite of what you want to do, actually. So I'll actually end it after I finish this little bit I'm going to say here. So long story short, for no reason whatsoever, if you listen to me about anything or you want to do your own research, never wear constricting garments. Don't ever wear anything that constricts your stomach. Don't wear waist trimmers. If you're a woman, don't wear those goddamn corsets and shit. Don't wear anything tight. Don't walk around all day sucking your stomach in. That's the worst thing you can do. And I know everyone does it. I mean, I wrote a whole chapter about this in my most recent book about breathing and how everyone in the world is doing it wrong. So, long story short, to practice the vacuums, I mean, literally just do exactly what I just said. So you're going to start off, if you're a beginner, never done it in your life before, try just lying on the ground. It's easier because gravity assists you, so just lie on your back and just work on what I just said. Just try. I have at least 6 videos about vacuums. Look them up. They're all very short explanations. But anyways, start lying down, move to being on all fours and then lifting upwards against gravity. A lot of videos and pictures of Arnold doing this. And then eventually just do it first thing in the morning. You go to the bathroom, you take your morning piss, go stand in front of the mirror, do a quick vacuum, breathe normal, do a quick vacuum, breathe normal, do a quick vacuum. And the last thing I would say again, just about breathing, guys, is please, please, please listen to me about this. Number 1, nobody gives a fuck about you. Number 2, nobody cares if when you're breathing your belly sticks out a little bit. And number 3, nobody notices, okay? The only person that you're doing a disservice to by not breathing with your stomach is yourself. If you breathe with your belly, your stomach is going to stick out a little bit. That is good and that is natural. There's 6,632 different kinds of mammals in the world. Humans are one of them, and we are the only ones who breathe with our chest, 95% of the population. Now this starts around the age of 5 or 6, and it starts because we start imitating superheroes and our parents not wanting to look fat. Girls want to look skinny, guys want to look skinny, sucking the bellies in. This is not healthy. You want to breathe nose to your belly, allow your abdominals to relax. You cannot breathe into your belly unless your abdominals relax, which means, by the way, the abdominals are a concave muscle as it is, meaning they are a rounded muscle. They do look like this. The abs don't look like this. They don't look like this. They look like this, and they're supposed to. You're not supposed to walk around all day flat or sucked in. That is unhealthy. That's chest breathing or vertical breathing. It's going to significantly raise your anxiety. It's going to lower your problem-solving ability, lower your creativity. It's going to fuck with your mood, with your sleep, with your health in general, your posture, your jaw. I mean, I could keep your teeth. I could keep going. I have a lot of videos about this shit, how not breathing correctly fucks your life up. But anyways, I hope that answers everybody's questions. If there was any, let me see if there's anything here. All right. Can you make a video about training for athletes? I mean, I don't know what you mean. I train all kinds of athletes. I train everybody from swimmers to free divers to bodybuilders to long distance runners to sprinters. I don't make videos about every single topic. I'm busy, but I have over 600 videos. I mean, make sure you dig through them and see if you can find what you'd like. But if not, let me know specifically. Send me an email. I'll make a specific video about some specific topic if you like. I really enjoy making those videos. I just made one 10 minutes ago, an hour ago, I'm sorry, just before I started this. Oh, hey, Bobby, how you doing? No worries. I should tell you guys, the reason a lot of you are having trouble joining, I've gotten a lot of comments and emails from it. I apologize, you guys have been unable to join. Until I reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, I guess my audience is limited to 10 or 20 people at a time. I'm doing lives anyways. So just another reason to get me over 1,000 subscribers so I can do better lives for you guys. Now, as for how often do I take a deload week? I don't think I ever have. Deload weeks, I have to get going, but I'll keep this as simple as I can. A deload week is to be taken when you are getting close to overtraining. That's when you should be taking a deload week. Now, the reason most people take deload weeks is because most people don't know how to train and most people overtrain. It's very simple. I couldn't actually, I'm sure I've probably taken a deload week back when I was a powerlifter or a strongman. I'm sure I probably did it, but I don't actually remember. I no longer take deload weeks. I simply don't. If I was to take a deload week, it would be because I was sick, and I wouldn't even call it a deload week. I would just go from doing 3 to 5 sets down to doing 1 to 3 sets for the week. And that would, I guess, be my deload week. But my weights and everything else wouldn't change in the slightest. There's no reason to take a deload week as long as your frequency is on point, your nutrition is on point, and your health is on point. There's no reason whatsoever to be taking a deload week. And again, you will know if you need a deload week if your progress goes backwards. How do you know if your progress goes backwards? Well, I hope to God you guys are all tracking, but if you're not tracking, you have to be. Tracking means your weight, your measurements, your macros, your sleep, your supplementation, your hormone levels, your weights, your sets, your reps. I have a whole list of shit you all should be tracking. I know most of you don't do it. I track myself religiously. I could tell you what I ate for breakfast 10 years ago. It is what it is. You will always make better progress when you're tracking, and you can clearly see if you're making progress or not. The second I see that my progress has plateaued or something has stalled for some reason whatsoever, I address those concerns and I fix it. Doesn't matter what it is, I figure it out. Was it my sleep? Was it my supplementation? Were my hormones fluctuating? Was I particularly tired? Was I sick? Was I overworked that week? Too much stress? Whatever the problem was, I take a look at it and I fix it, and I go back to making consistent progress. But yeah, I don't do deload weeks. I don't have any of my athletes do deload weeks. They simply don't need it. If you have somebody who actually knows what the hell they're doing, you don't need a deload week, and you should never stop making continuous progress. If you do, you're fucking something up. Humans are fairly easy to understand, and you should continuously be making progress. But that's it for today, guys. I'll be back again next week. I got a lot of really fun videos coming up this week. Today I'll be loading one about how to brace correctly. I'll be loading up the middle attachments for at-home training perfectly. What else? I got the podcast, Adapt and Overcome. We're going to be talking about supplements this week. I got a whole bunch of videos coming up. And anybody who wants a specific video made or anything like that, just send me a video, send me an email. I'm always happy to help. I have over 600 lectures on YouTube. Dig through them if you haven't already. My Etsy store in the description. I mean, guys, this stuff's pennies and dollars for amazing information you won't find anywhere else. And of course, your money supports me to be making more of these videos. If you want to give me a couple bucks for something, you have it for life. Share it with your friends. I encourage you. They're digital downloads, so you can share them with everybody, and you only have to spend $1 to do it. Think about it. Use your brains, people. Do I ever eat slightly above maintenance? I stay in a constant, slight calorie surplus. Yeah, forever, basically, until I'm cutting. And what exercise fixes lower back strain from sedentary life? Never do good mornings, never do deadlifts. My Trade News Center, please dig through some of my videos about ego lifting versus biomechanics and the science of biomechanics. Don't do good mornings, don't do deadlifts. That will not, it's going to make it worse. If you have lower back pain from a sedentary lifestyle, that's because you have locked muscles and you have over-shortened muscles. That needs to be fixed through stretching and movement. None of those movements are going to be anything like good mornings or deadlifts. You're going to want to be doing a back curl. You're going to want to be doing hamstring stretches. I have videos about this as well. Look up any of my postural videos or stretching videos. You'll find exactly what I'm talking about. I have one video specifically exactly about that particular topic. Just check out Castle's lectures playlist and you'll find it there. But that's it for today, guys. Everybody have a great day. Stay hard, stay on your grind. And everybody, please, just do your best because nobody's going to do the work for you.